Hello and welcome to this edition of Third Thursday. I'm Matt McIntyre, Moby's marketing manager, and with me today is Chelsea Hadaway. Chelsea, thanks for being here today.
You're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Great. Chelsea is a member of the implementation team here at Moby, and she's with me today to talk a little bit more about what it means to implement with Moby and some of the things that are out there. So, Chelsea, while we were discussing this interview, we talked a little bit about the difference in a Moby implementation, and one thing you had mentioned, and I really love this term, and you called it collaborative implementation.
Yes.
Can you define that a little bit? Tell us what that means.
Absolutely. Collaborative implementation is when we take into consideration the customer has a lot of different requests. They have probably a very complex program, and we need to make sure we're not trying to force them to fit into a box that we've predefined. Instead, let's work with them. Let's collaborate with them, and let's be a team player to proactively work with the customer, understand what they really need, and then make the portal respond to that.
That's great. And now, how long have you been with Moby?
I'm going on 3 years, actually.
3 years. That's
yes.
Great. So, in 3 years' time, what do you think is the biggest concern of anyone implementing a wireless management solution?
Sure, that's a great question. And we've come across that people believe time is really one of the biggest concerns that they have.
Time, their investment.
Yes, absolutely correct. Especially when it comes to the whole implementation process. Many of our customers feel at the very beginning that the amount of time they have to put into it will be quite excessive. Maybe it doesn't fit into their work schedule very well. And so we listen to those concerns, and we definitely have done some things to combat that and help them.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that. What has Moby done to kind of combat that initial fear of takes too much time?
We have set up what we call a project management tool, and we use that today to create not only transparency with that customer so they understand what step we're at in the process, what actionable items are due from both the customer side and internal, but also to make sure that the load of work is properly distributed across the whole project.
From them and Moby. So
yes, that's correct.
Okay, the action items for them and the deliverables from us.
Yes, it takes them from start to finish. It never really takes them too far into the process because we work with them one step at a time. And every week we cover specific items that are detailed in that project management tool.
And tell me how long implementation with Moby should take.
Implementation with Moby should take roughly about 45 days.
Okay. And is the time commitment from a potential customer increase or decrease over time? How does that work?
It actually decreases over time.
Oh.
So at the beginning, the customer probably needs to spend a little bit more time with us, making sure that we get all the necessary items we need. And that's really to kind of kickstart the process.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
A couple of deliverables just so
Yes.
we can take off.
Absolutely.
Great.
And then as we get more towards the end of the project, Moby's doing a lot of the work at this point. And the customer is less time commitment is involved for them. And then it really kind of tapers off, especially when we launch the product, because then everything's in place to make their lives easier.
That makes sense. So jumping on that a little bit to launching the product and launching Moby for these customers, what are some of the most popular administrative areas once somebody has been fully implemented and now they're ready to start using Moby?
Definitely. This is a great area that we cover, especially during the training process. Admins can take advantage of several features in the system, but specifically 3 have been great tools for admins. The first one is a catalog. It's really what shows them the business catalog offerings that they have for their end users. And an admin can go in and actually add new devices to the catalog and make sure that those devices show up okay. So maybe there's a new piece of equipment that's on the market and they've tested it and they want to put that in the catalog.
So their orderable devices go in the catalog as well as maybe plans and features and
Yes,
everything else?
absolutely.
Great. What else? You said 3.
I did say 3. The second one relates to FAQs, so frequently asked questions.
Perfect.
And this is an area that both Moby can help manage for the customer, but also that the admin has access to help manage as well.
Got it.
This area, if an admin feels their end users maybe ask quite a few of the same questions, maybe we can populate some of those questions in this area. So when the user comes to Moby, they have a one-stop shop to help them really understand not only how to use Moby, but perhaps how their own wireless program works.
Got it. So it could be Moby specific or customer specific
Yes.
or device specific. It could be
Absolutely.
anything.
Absolutely.
And the third?
The third one has to do with approvals, and this is usually a very hot topic for a lot of customers. Admins are not always the people who are the approvals for requests that come through the system. So taking that into consideration, there's a section of Moby that's called Approvals in Process.
Okay.
And Approvals in Process is what allows an admin to see activities that are currently out for approval, and also which level of approval they are out for. So maybe there's a two-tier approval process, and an activity has received approval from the first level, but maybe now only needs approval from the second level.
Got it. So I want to order a new device. You're my immediate manager. You approve it, and it goes on to the vice president, and they need to approve it for to
Yes.
fully come in.
Yes.
Makes a lot of sense.
This area can also be used to resend approvals. So perhaps someone's inbox didn't cooperate so well and an approval needs to be resent. The admin can resend that approval.
Okay.
The admin can also override,
Okay.
which is very helpful. Maybe
Someone's on vacation.
Yes, absolutely. Someone's on vacation. That admin needs to come in and help out a little bit and can override the approval if something needs to get done quickly.
That's great. So finally, what do you think after that? Let's say they've got all those 3 great features set up and they're starting to use Moby. What is the implementation team's role beyond that stage?
We can re-engage with current customers, especially if they perhaps add new items to their program. Maybe we launched their program with voice-only devices and smartphones, and now we have an opportunity to work with them on tablets.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be an opportunity where implementation will come back into the scene, ensure that the tablet program is set up well, and make sure that all the pieces are in place, not just for procurement, but also support, customer service, and if any kitting is needed for the tablets.
Got it. So it could be a new device, could be a new feature, could be anything.
Yes.
Re-engage with the implementation team and kind of take it back.
Yes, and we'll take it right back through the project management process, probably a little bit shorter process.
Right.
But needless to say, we do work with them again to make sure that the product is implemented properly for them.
That ongoing configuration is there.
Yes.
That's great. Well, Chelsea, thanks so much for being
Thanks,
here
Matt.
on Third Thursday, and we appreciate your look inside Moby.